Alright everyone, I am going to be ranking the Mario Kart World outfits for you. I'm not going to bother with their original outfits, I'm just going to focus on the unlockable ones. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Let's get started. Now, Mario is obviously a pretty basic character considering he's, the namesake of the franchise, but I gotta say, this mechanic outfit is it's pretty good. I like the backwards hat, I like the colors, I like the patches on his sleeves. I'm trying not to be influenced by his little dance because it is pretty good. In my opinion, I gotta say it, we are starting off strong with an A-tier outfit. Yeah. Now moving on to Sightseeing Mario. Now this is very Super Mario Sunshine inspired, considering the shine sprites on his shirt. Similar, backwards hat going on and everything, except this one has the, classic Mario logo on it. I like it. It's fun. It kind of, makes you think of, someone's dad on vacation. And so, and I say that in a good way. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this one in B tier. We then move on to All-Terrain Mario, which is, I guess, sort of like a motor sport type of outfit. I think this one's cool. It makes sense in a racing game. I can't say that it is entirely my taste, you know what I mean? It's not of my interests, but I still think it's a really cool outfit. It has really cool details. I like the change in the shoes. That's something that I didn't acknowledge with the previous skin having sandals, but it's fine. I think the shoes on this one are really cool. Cool helmet. I think, it's solid. It's B tier. We then move on to Touring Mario, which, what do we mean by touring? Like, I don't know. I will say I'm not a fan of the shoes. I like the jacket. This is kind of I guess like a biker Mario. I'm gonna say, not the biggest fan of this one. I do like that he doesn't have any headgear on, no hat, and so I think that's a fun change for the skin, but not the biggest fan. It's hard to put any of these in any low tier because these are all they're really fun outfits. But I'm just comparing it to the other ones. I know what I know is coming. I'm gonna say C tier. We then move on to Dune Rider. I think this one makes me feel the same as the last one. It's a fun outfit. It's not as different from the one before it, and I think that's why it's a little more boring. And I don't mean to jump ahead, but it seems very similar to the Aviator one, especially in terms of the color palette. Again, I love the outfit, so I don't hate any of these if I'm being honest, but just, for the sake of ranking them, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in C tier as well. I don't think it's, that much of a standout. I'm actually realizing I was supposed to be going up and down and not side to side. But anyway, we then move on to Pro Racer. Now I kind of want to forget, what I said about this one. This one kind of sucks, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's pretty boring. It's not all that different from, what is this one called again? All-Terrain. In the sense that he's wearing a helmet, and yeah, this one, I really don't like this one. I'm gonna go ahead and say D tier. This one's pretty bad. Cowboy. Now this one's fun. I like the vest. I like that it says Superstar. This one has a red bandana similar to this one, but I think it makes more sense in this outfit. I like the boots. I like the jeans. I like the star on the, I don't know what you would call that, like the little medallion on the hat. Very, very good. I'm gonna go ahead and say B tier. We then move on to Happy, which, I'm not gonna pretend like I know what aspect of culture this is referencing, but I do enjoy it, and so, based off of aesthetics alone, I really like the cheap design on it, and so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say, I'm between A tier and B tier right now. I'm gonna say B tier. I like it. Okay, we then move on to Luigi and his touring outfit. Now, if we compare the touring outfits, come on, Luigi's is a lot better. Again, not the biggest fan of these metallic shoes, but I do like Luigi's, puffer jacket and I think the mushroom design on the back is a little wonky, actually. I understand that it's supposed to be like flames or something, but it just looks off. Yeah, but I really like this. I like the goggles. I'm gonna say strong B tier. Actually, nicer jeans than a lot of Mario's outfits. We then move on to Pro Racer. Oh, yeah. I think this is what did I put the last one in D tier? I mean, if anything's gonna go in D tier, it's gotta be the Pro Racer ones. These ones are just boring. They kind of make their heads look weird. I'm just gonna say D tier. I don't really like it. Mechanic. Now, this one's fun. Very cute for Luigi. I don't know what it says on their hat. It looks like it's like Famicom or something. I have no idea what that's in reference to. Forgive me if you do. I like it, but surprisingly not as much as Mario's. Maybe because he's just longer, it looks a little different to me, but I'm gonna put this one in C tier. I'm not the biggest fan, but I do like the backwards hat. It's very cute. Now this one, Oasis, very, very cute. Luigi in sandals, I don't know. I don't even know. Here, I'll just tell you what I was gonna say, but I'll admit I don't know why I was gonna say this. I was gonna say, I don't know if you've ever seen Luigi's toes before. Guys, forgive me, please. Anyway, I like the vest, I like the hat, I like the pants, I like the colors. I gotta say, A tier outfit. It's really good. Moving on to Farmer. I think this one is very charming. I like that. What is that called? That piece of like wheat in his hat. I like the hat. I like the overalls. I like the patch in the overalls. I like the change in the color of his shoes. I like the pattern on his undershirt. Very, very charming skin. I like the scarf, or outfit I should say. I think too much in terms of Fortnite when I think of these outfit changes. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in A tier. Another happy seat. The thing is like, it's hard because I'm directly comparing these to Mario's. But I will say this one is, I think, probably, I enjoy it just as much. I think I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think red, wait, where is he? The red goes better with this than the green does in my opinion, but still, I think it's a fun outfit. Then all-terrain Luigi, again, a lot of the things that I liked about the Mario one, I like about this one as well. And so I'm gonna say B tier. We then move on to Gondolier, I don't know how you say that word, but he's like a gondola rider. Very French, which, yeah, I can't say I like it. I look at this, different hat for Luigi. I think they're very, similar silhouettes, I guess. And this one's just not landing for me. I don't like the hat. The shirt is fine. I like the little like necktie thing. It's cute. Or like the bandana. I don't know. It's kind of falling flat for me. I'm gonna go ahead and say C tier outfit. We then move on to Peach for her touring outfit. I like it. I like the jacket. I like that we're using a bow instead of the crown. It is a more casual look for a character we obviously know as a princess. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this one is a solid outfit. I'm gonna say C tier. Sorry. This is a solid outfit. I'm gonna go ahead and say B tier. We then move on to Peach Pro Racer. This one is fun. It is, I guess, different than the Pro Racer that Mario and Luigi had, because hers doesn't have a helmet. It has like more of a hat with her crown on it, which I think is very fun. I actually like this one a lot more than theirs. I'm gonna say B tier. I like the colors. I like her like pendant on the neck part of it. So yeah, I really like it. Farmer Peach. This is another very charming one. Very fun with the boots. I like the flower in the hair. This is, just a fun outfit overall. I guess we're seeing this character in a context that maybe we would not normally imagine them. It is very fun. I'm gonna say B tier. It's a little simple, but I like it. I think Luigi's had like a little more, extra to it, but I still very much enjoy it. Sightseeing. So this is like what, like, you know, Peach in a top-down car, maybe like a more 50s inspired look. I think it's fun. It's a little simple, but again, I think it's interesting to, and it's a change of pace to see Peach in an outfit that isn't a dress, and so I like it for that sake. But it is a little simple, and so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in C tier. I feel like, you know, as opposed to Pro Racer, it's not really incorporating aspects of her original design into it as much. Aviator. Okay, this is another one I like. I think it's very fun. I wish that, like, thematically we moved from just repeating the same things, because I'm trying not to compare this Aviator one to like Mario's Aviator one, but still, I like it. I enjoy the colors. I like the boots. I think the goggles are fun. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in B tier. It's a very strong B tier. Yukata. Oh, this one's very fun. I'm not like the biggest fan of the pattern. It just kind of looks all over the place, but I very much enjoy the boom mask. What is it on her back? Oh, it's like a fan. I very much like the blooper fan. I'm gonna put this one in C tier. I think the main part of it is not, it's just a boring pattern. I think they could have done something a little more creative with it, but I like the details. Arrow. Okay, this is, you know, I think like what you would imagine for a traditional Peach Mario Kart outfit. I think it's well done. It feels classic. It feels recognizable. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this one in B tier as well. I know I'm like stacking B tier right now, but what can you do? Okay, Peach Vacation. This one is very fun. I think this one is a switch on obviously the traditional Peach outfit. I feel like perhaps there was a similar Peach outfit in Super Mario Odyssey. Maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't play that game myself. But I feel like I've seen Peach in something similar to this, but I like the necktie. I like the shirt. I think the skirt being a similar silhouette to her original dress is very fun. I think this is a very strong one. I'm going to say A tier. We then move on to Daisy Touring. Okay, she has a lot of movement. Daisy Touring, you know, fun outfit similar to the Peach one. I think this one makes sense for Daisy. I think I like always think of Daisy in a more like rough and tumble, it doesn't make sense, like way than I do Peach. And so I think it's fun that they added like that sort of like band-aid patch on her thigh. I think that's like a fun detail to like, you know, maybe allude to character qualities. And so I think this one's very fun. I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's a very strong B tier. We then move on to Pro Racer. Now I like that this one is a backwards hat and that it also has the crown detail that the Peach one had. I don't know. Maybe I just like am not the biggest fan of Daisy's color palette, and that's what's kind of like putting me off. But I still think this one's very strong. Like none of them are bad is what I'm trying to get across. I know I've said it a few times, but I just think it's worth repeating. But yeah, I'm gonna put this one in C tier for some reason. It just is not my favorite. I just probably wouldn't choose it. Daisy Oasis. Now this one's fun. I like the ponytail. I like the band going around her head, and I of course like the outfit. I think the shoes are very fun. I think this one's like, you know, let's go back to look at Luigi's real quick. They would look good together, you know what I mean? Fun couples costume is what I'm trying to say here. And so I think I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in B tier. We then move on to Daisy Swimwear. I'm gonna be honest, this one's a little boring to me. Like, sure, you know, her at a beach, or like, you know, like if there was Mario Volleyball, does that game exist? I don't know. And so yeah, but it's a little plain. It's just it doesn't to me feel like it needs to exist in this game. But you know, I'm sure there's people that'll like it. Daisy Arrow. Again, this is the same thing that I said about Peaches, where I know they're more amusing or exciting, more like better themed outfits, and so I'm just gonna put this one in C tier. We then move on to Daisy Vacation. This one's actually very fun. I like it. I think the name of the outfit goes with the outfit itself. It makes sense to me. I think it's very cute. I think it's very charming. It's nice to see, Daisy in an outfit that I think is a change of pace for her character. And so I'm going to say this one is a solid B tier. We then move on to none other than Yoshi. Now, this is Yoshi's touring outfit. This is another one that we have seen for the previous characters, but obviously Yoshi does not have the, normal. Yoshi's not a human. He is a biped, but not a human. And so I think this outfit is very cute. I almost think they should have picked, a different color for Yoshi for this outfit for some reason. I think it is fun, it is cute, but it is not my favorite amongst the Yoshi outfits, so I'm going to put it in C tier. We then move on to Yoshi Pro Racer. Now this one's fun because, fun and confusing because most of Yoshi is covered in, his racing suit, but somehow his, back hump is still out. Or is that like a saddle? What is that? Anyway, Yoshi also has a helmet, which if you were ever wondering what Yoshi would look like with a helmet, well, there's your answer. I think this one's pretty basic, but I think it goes well with this color of Yoshi. I'm going to put it, I like that it says his name on, his tail. This one's pretty cute, but not my favorite. I'm going to say C tier. Now this one, very, very fun. These are the ones that I'm more excited about. It's not just a racing outfit. It's like a random theme. He looks like he would be in a murder mystery film. I love this one. I think, a nice touch would have been like a mustache perhaps. But, that's just me asking for more. This is a solid A tier. I love this one. I would almost put it in an S tier, but I'm gonna be I don't want to be too generous is what I'm saying. We then move on to Soft Server Yoshi, which is absolutely adorable. I think this is so cute. This is, Yoshi as a an ice cream, works at an ice cream shop, and I think that thematically is very adorable. I do very much enjoy the ice cream cone on his back. One thing I will say is I kind of wish they would have, changed the color of his saddle just to, sell it a little more, to make it look like ice cream, tipped over, but regardless, it's very cute. I'm going to say this one is a very strong B tier. We have Biker Yoshi, very cool. Leather jacket, I guess leather vest, leather gloves, leather boots, Bowser-like collar, some nice aviators. I would say this is a, very recognizable look, and I think it's done well. I like that they picked the blue Yoshi for this one. I'm going to give it a B tier. Swimwear. Okay, this is adorable. They put a life raft around his saddle. He has his scuba goggles on. He has his little flippers. This is adorable. I absolutely love this one. I don't know if I've put any other outfits in S tier, but this is absolutely an S tier for me. It is so cute, and I think it's perfect for Yoshi. We then move on to Matsuri. I think this one is very fun, but thematically, but I think it just looks weird on Yoshi. I think it is, a bit difficult to understand what each of the design elements are. You know what I mean? I think they would make more sense on a human character as opposed to Yoshi. I'm just gonna go ahead and say C tier. I think they could have done something more fun with this color of Yoshi. Food slinger. Okay, so this is Yoshi working at a drive-thru. Very cute. Oddly enough though, this does not give me fast food worker other than, oh, he has crumbs on his mouth. Okay, that just knocked it up a tier because I was gonna put this in like C tier, but now I'm not. I think the headset's very cute. I like the zipper, and I like the color of the jacket, the way it contrasts with the blue. I think this is very cute. You know what? I think what's taking me out of it is the name of it, just because it doesn't make a lot of sense. But this one's really cute. This is a B tier. Does Donkey Kong only have one outfit? That's crazy. Okay, all-terrain Donkey Kong. This looks like a laser tag outfit to me. I think it is funny that his helmet is shaped to his hair. I, for one, am a fan of the, Donkey Kong redesign, so I'm not knocking him for that. This is just kind of boring. I don't know. I'm gonna say this is C tier. Pro Racer Bowser, which I think there's a lot to look at here because, clearly Bowser is a large character. I like that they put some design on his shell, the stripes and the font, and I don't know, I like it. Again, I don't think I'm like the biggest fan of the Pro Racer ones, but I understand why these skins were included, and so I'm just gonna say B tier. It's fine. Ooh, supercharged. Now this one, the shell is very cool. It has like two big exhaust pipes. What are those, like speedometers? And I don't know. This just looks so cool, like a chrome shell. It looks very like, I'd say Mad Max, but I don't know. I've never really seen Mad Max. I like like one of my favorite parts is the horn, like the changes to his horns. I think that's so cool. This is another strong B tier for me. We then move on to Biker Bowser. Now this one is, it might sound weird, this one's adorable to me. I think this one is so cute. It looks like, Bowser going to take someone out on a date, and I love the way that his hair is styled. I like the glasses, I like, the jacket and the jeans, and I like the change in his shell. I just think this is absolutely adorable. I think, surprisingly, this is going to be an S tier for me. I just love it. I think this one's really fun. There's nothing, like, I like the straps that his shell has, the like belt straps. I just think this one is great. We then move on to all-terrain Bowser, which I feel similarly to Donkey Kong's in that this looks like maybe not laser tag, but like paintball outfit. Like if you're going like paintballing. I don't know. This is not my favorite. I'm just gonna say C tier and move on. We then move on to one of my favorite characters in the Mario, universe, Bowser Jr. So this is Pro Racer Bowser Jr. I think his helmet is adorable. This is very cute. I think his little character animation is very funny, stomping around, kind of like a bratty child, which I think is his entire character. I love that his jacket says Junior. I think this is very cute. This is very charming. It's hard for me to rank Bowser Jr. low, but I don't know, I like it. It's B. We then move on to Biker Jr., which even the name is adorable. Influenced by guys, come on. Like, putting these two outfits together, this is so cute. Like, him matching outfits with his dad. What can I say? This one is very, very charming, very, very cute. I think what I like more about, Bowser's is there's more design elements to this, but this is obviously like a smaller version, and I like the goggles instead of the glasses that Bowser had, but I think I prefer the glasses, but still very cute, very charming. I'm gonna say A tier. This is very, very, very cute. We then move on to Bowser Jr. Explorer, so a very Boy Scouts inspired outfit. I mean, come on guys, this one is ridiculously cute. I love the like patches on his shell. I think they're so cute. I think the what do you call that, like a necktie or handkerchief, I like it. The hat he has on, this one is adorable to me. I often pick this one when I play as Bowser Jr., and so I'm gonna say S tier. We then move on to Koopa Runner, which, like, runner for a marathon, I believe. Very cute, very simple. I love seeing Koopa in classes. He just looks so cool. Like, cool cool in the way where like he looks a little silly, but like no, that's cool. And I love the K on his hat. I think that's such fun branding for him. I like this one. Don't hate the shoes, they're pretty cute. I say this is a very strong B tier. I really like it. Then we have Pro Racer Koopa. Now, I've said that I'm not the biggest fan of the Pro Racer ones, but I actually think Koopa's, you know, is it's a good one. I really like it. I like the jacket. The shell, like the stickers and everything, that's fine. I think I prefer, you know, the patches that Bowser Jr. has on his shell, but still, I like that they have a variety of design elements to this. I want to say this is a very strong B tier. We then move on to Sailor Koopa. This is ridiculously cute. I love, you know, I love the little name tag that he has. I like his little like shoulder tie thing. I wish that there was some sort of sailor aspect to his shell. Like maybe we change the color of the shell to like a navy blue, or we put like some anchor element on it. I think it's like it could use a little bit more design, but what there is of it is really well done, and so I'm going to say A tier. Now we are at all-terrain Koopa. Now I love this like chrome shield or cage. I don't know what you would refer like it makes me think of like the cages, like the face masks that catchers will wear in baseball. I really like it, but that's like the only aspect of this that I like. Like obviously, you know, the headset and the goggles are cool, but it I don't know if this outfit really makes sense to me, so I'm gonna put it in D tier, unfortunately. Oh my gosh, okay. This is so cute. Koopa work crew, so like a construction worker or maybe like a pit crew. I don't know, he is just so cute. I like his little, you know, safety vest. I like he has his equipment strapped to his back and his helmet. This is adorable. I'm gonna say B tier. We then move on to Toad. Now, I am not a fan of the Pro Racer outfits, but I just cannot deny that I am absolutely charmed by this. I love the shoes. I love how big the helmet is because of his big head, but it is just, this is adorable. Whenever I choose to play as Toad, this is the outfit that I wear, and so I think it's safe to say that this is an S tier for me. Now, we have Toad as an engineer, so like a person who runs the engine of a train, I believe, is the traditional meaning of engineer. But this is so cute. I love the overalls. I like the handkerchief, the bandana. I like the hat. I very much enjoy the added element of him being like smudged with dirt or coal. I think that is very cute. I gotta say, this is another S tier for me. Very well done. Now, Burger Bud, which I think is such a funny name. Toad, this is adorable. We are seeing Toad in a different way because instead of his traditional mushroom top, he has an inflatable burger on his head. This is ridiculously adorable. I think this outfit is so fun. Guys, I don't mean to stack, you know, S tier with Toad, but come on. He has the best ones. S tier. Alright, Toad Explorer, which, you know, I believe is the Toad Treasure Tracker outfit, or if not, very similar to. Very cute, very, reminds me of the like Boy Scout Bowser Jr. one. I think this one's very cute, very strong. I'm gonna say A tier. You know, Toad has no misses in my book, what can I say? We then move on to the Toadette Pro Racer outfit, which very similar to Toad's Pro Racer outfit, but I will say this one I like a little bit less. I am not a fan of the shoe color in the way that I was for Toad. It just seemed a little more cohesive on him. This one is still very cute, just I do not enjoy it as much. I'm gonna say B tier for this one. We then move on to Toadette as the conductor, which I think is a fun juxtaposition to Toad the engineer. I think it's more fun for the outfits between, you know, famously paired up characters to be complementary instead of just like being copies of one another. So I like this one, very cute. I think it is fun to see Toadette in an outfit that isn't majority pink. What can I say? I really like it. I'm gonna say A tier. We then move on to Toadette's soft server, which, I think this and Yoshi are the only soft server outfits. Maybe I'm wrong. This one is very cute, I will say. I'm not like the biggest fan of the glasses. They kind of, I just don't like the style, if I'm being honest. But I think the rest is very cute, like this, ice cream scoop head. I almost wish that the ponytails were, also of that ice cream texture, but I understand it's more of a hat and less of her head being made of ice cream. But I think the overalls are cute and whatnot. I'm going to give this one an A tier. We then move on to Toadette Explorer, which, similar to the Toad Treasure Tracker one. This one, a little, for me, simple, basic, not as exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in C tier. It's not, I don't really like the colors. Lakitu Pit Crew. Now, this is very fun. I like, what is this, like a radio or a remote, or I don't know what that is on his back, but it's very cute. I like the wire that connects it to the front. I really like the shade of green that they chose for his headset. I think it just, it kind of makes him look like a fly to me. And for whatever reason, I really enjoy it. I think this is very cute. I like it. Nothing crazy, so I'm gonna go ahead and say B tier for this one. We then move on to Lakitu Fisherman. I think this one is very cute. I like the sandals. I like the fishing hook having the spike ball as the bait. I like the hat. There's so much to enjoy about this. I just think this one is very adorable. There's something about the shape of Lakitu's face that kind of makes him look like an old man, but I think that is very fitting for this outfit, and so I'm going to go ahead and put this one in A tier. We then move on to King Boo. Now this one, it's interesting because it's just a helmet ultimately, but I really do like the visor on the helmet. I think it looks really cool. I like the purple bluish to pink gradient. I think it is very nice. I enjoy it, and so, but I think it's a little simple, obviously, especially considering the ones that are up and coming, and so I'm gonna say this one is a B tier. Alright, King Boo Aristocrat. Now come on guys, look at this. This is a dapper man if I've ever seen one. And so there's so much to like. I said I wish that Yoshi had a mustache, and here is King Boo with the mustache. I like that he still has his crown as part of his top hat. I like that his jacket encapsulates his entire head. And I like his bow tie. I like the fur trim and the details on the back. I just think this is great. This is an S tier skin for me. We then move on to King Boo as a pirate, which, again, great details all around. I love the tattered jacket. I love that one of his hands is a hook that is just, chef's kiss. I love it. I like that his hat has treasure in it. I mean, this is and his eye patch too. Let's turn around. This is just great all around. No notes. Absolute S tier. This is so good. We then move on to Shy Guy. Now, Shy Guy's Pit Crew, very cute. I love seeing the characters with a headset. There's just something, that I find adorable about it. This one ultimately is just Shy Guy with stripes and a headset, and so it's a little, it's not giving me as much to sink my teeth into as the others do, but it's still kind of cute, but I will say simple, and so just out of fairness, I'm going to have to say C tier. We then move on to Shy Guy Slope Styler in his beanie and his ski goggles. I think this is very fun. Again, very simple. I wish they would have done something with maybe changing the color, just straying from the usual red that we see with Shy Guy. And so, again, they could have done more. I get that Shy Guy is a small, simple character, and this is a fun interpretation of his little, hoodie thing. I don't know what to call it, but yeah, I'm gonna say this is a very strong B tier. Okay, we then move on to Wario's Pro Racer outfit. You know, I think this outfit mainly shines from the back, which is a little bit crazy to say, but I hope you know what I mean. I like, the flame details on his rear. And I like the Wario Motors logo that he has. I also like the back of the strap of his goggles that also has the, his zigzaggy mustache motif. I will say though, from the front, this looks more like he's going like skiing or like sledding or like snowboarding than it does pro racing. So I don't really like it from the front, but the back is pretty good. I don't know. It's like the front for me is a C and the back is an A, so I guess that averages out to B tier. We then move on to Wario Oasis. Now, I think this is a fun concept for him, and I think it is silly. I'll be honest though, I don't really like it. I think, there's no hate to Wario, obviously, but for whatever reason, his character just does not do this, this outfit, justice, the way that I feel like, Luigi was able to, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and put this one in C tier. I don't really like, I don't know, I don't really like it. I don't like the what would you call that, like the jacket or their shirt. The hat is fun, but I don't know, I just don't like a lot of I don't like the color palette. I don't like a lot of it, so we're putting this one in C tier. Okay, this is Wario as Wicked Wasp. Now, you gotta love the detail of the stinger busting out of the outfit and also his antennas. That is very fun. I like the ruffled collar. I like, the addition of the wings and his overalls being striped. I mean, this looks just ridiculous to me. Wario is such a, full of personality character, and this just makes him look so silly. It looks like, a dad that's part of a family Halloween costume, and for whatever reason, he went dressed as the bee. And so, I'm putting this one in A tier. Alright, Wario Biker. Now, oh boy, that ponytail is something. This looks like somebody's uncle, and I don't mean that in a good way. I like, the little cut taken out of the hat. I just gotta be honest, this guy just looks sleazy. What can I say? I don't know. He looks like he'd like ask me if I have like a cigarettes or something. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm gonna put this one in C tier. We then have Wario as a pirate. Now they're using a lot of gold on him, which I like gold as a metal, but for whatever reason in the outfits it kind of just looks like tacky to me. But I don't know. I think that I'm not gonna lie, the gold gloves do, they look pretty cool. I love the embroidered W on his back. I like that the bottom of it is opened on his shirt, on his jacket. I do like the skull pendant that he has. This one's pretty good. I can't lie, the hat's good. It has that same embroidered W that the back does. I can't hate on this one. It's an A tier. Alrighty. Road Ruffian. This is certainly something. This is a lot to take in, I can't say I'm the biggest fan of this, again, this feels like if you were to go on your uncle's social media and you saw his Halloween costume and he's like, oh, like Mad Max, like, I keep referring to Wario as someone's uncle, but like, what else can you, I think that's pretty accurate and fair. Again, this one's not bad. I like the helmet, I like the gold embellishments, even though, I said I didn't really like him on him. It works in this regard. I think I just didn't like it on the Oasis outfit, but yeah, this one's solid. I can't hate on it too much. He looks kind of weird, but I kind of like the that they chose to give him such a out there outfit. So I'm gonna go ahead and say B tier for this one. Alrighty, this is Wario in the ultimate uncle form. I mean, your uncle that works in construction or something. This is him. Like, come on. Like, I will say, love the details of these worker gloves. I mean, like, you know, if you have a blue collar like person in your family, if you're blue collar yourself, I feel like you've at some point in your life been around that style of glove, and I like that they gave attention to that detail of the fabric of the gloves. You know, not a big fan of the dirty tank top, the towel around the neck, not really loving it. This one gives sleazy as well, and so I think I'm gonna go ahead and, but it's not bad, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in C tier. We then move on to Waluigi Pro Racer. Now he looks very Italian in this one. Maybe it's his pose, you know, his snapping and his leaning and everything, and you know, shout out to Italian people. This one's not bad. I think this looks more like a disco outfit to me than it does a racer outfit. I don't think this L is the, you know, most well positioned or sized, but it's not bad. I'm gonna say B tier, no, C tier. You know, it's harmless, but it's not good. Come on. Vampire, I don't know how you say this, but this is gold. I mean, this is, I love the cape, I love the detailing on it, I love the shoes, I love the gloves, I like that he's like, you know, has that pale vampire look. This is just perfection from head to toe. What can you say? I like the way his hair is styled. This is quality S tier, absolutely, without a doubt. Alright, this is Mariachi Waluigi. I mean, another great Waluigi skin. I love the details on the jacket. I like the details on the hat. I like the pants are absolutely great. I love the shoes. I feel like I own some brown leather shoes that look very similar to this, and so, you know, perhaps my own personal tastes are biasing my opinion. And I love the mask. I mean, and his hair is styled very, very, in a very fun way. You know, they easily could have tucked away, but I like that they decided to include the swoop in front of his face. This one is great. I absolutely love it. Another S tier from Waluigi. And I will say, Waluigi's not even like, I know there's a lot of Waluigi fans. I'm not one of them, but these are just great outfits. You can't deny it. Alrighty, Waluigi Biker. You know, I do like this. This thing is like, what do you call it, like a bandana or head thing he has tied around. The rest of it, I think, is just a little meh, kind of boring, not exciting. I don't have much to say about this one other than, you know, when you compare it to the other Waluigi skins, this one's one of the more basic ones, and so I'm going to go ahead and say C tier. Road Ruffian Waluigi. You know, he's not like shirtless in the way that Wario's is, which is an interesting choice that they decided to make for, you know, just Wario. I think I feel the same way about Biker. I mean, like, sure, it's not bad. I'm sure there's people out there that like it, but it just is not very exciting to me. I like the belt buckle with the upside down L. I enjoy that part. But other than that, I think it's, you know, it's not as exciting as these two. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in C tier. Alrighty, we are at Pro Racer Birdo. Now, you gotta give it to her. The shoes are pretty cool. I like that it has a red heel. I like the jacket. I like the checker pattern on the belt. And something that I am noticing is that the ring is even a different color for this outfit. I think, you know, I love when they add those minor details that just like, I think just, you know, really give the notion that there was like thought put into this. And obviously there's thought put into all of these outfits, but you know, those are details that they could easily look over, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that they decided to, you know, put some thought into that. I also love the BD initials with a bow on her shoes. I gotta say, this one's an A tier. Yes, I'm biased in favor of Birdo. Sue me. I'll forever be a Birdo fan. Alrighty, Birdo Vacation. Now, I gotta admit, I don't like the like mermaid scales bow. I don't think it really makes sense with this outfit. I get that, like, maybe vacation and beach and water, but it just kind of seems off to me. I do like that the ring is like a pearl now, but other than that, I think this one is very basic. I wish Birdo had more outfits. I feel like of all characters, Birdo, it would make sense to give Birdo a large wardrobe, and so I'm surprised that they didn't. But yeah, this one falls flat for me. It's a C tier. Actually, I'm lying. I hate to say it's a D tier. It's not good. I don't really like it. As a Birdo fan, I want more for her. Alrighty, we have Pauline snapping in what seems to be a very out of rhythm manner, but this is, it's pretty cool. What do you call this? Like, I think I'm saying like jumpsuit or bodysuit or whatever. Racer suit. I actually like the colors. I like this brown, red. I like the gold as well. I'm not that big of a fan of Pauline. When they announced her for being a little character in Donkey Kong Bonanza, I was kind of like, what's the point? But this outfit's pretty cool. I like it. I enjoy it. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Alrighty. We have a Rosalina touring. This kind of gives like what is it like how do you do, fellow kids or whatever. Like, it kind of seems like she's trying to like this. She kind of looks like an undercover cop to me. I just don't really love this one. The ponytail kind of seems odd. I don't like the hat or the glasses. It just, with someone how do you say this? For someone with as much poise as Rosalina, this one just seems like out of character in a way that feels forced and not fresh or interesting. Rosalina Pro Racer. This one's a little better. Wait, did I give this one? Oh, I'm putting this one in D tier. I don't know if I said that. This one is not much better, if I'm being honest. Like, maybe slightly. I like the hat more. I don't know. It just is so weird. It just feels like not right for her. I'm putting this one in C tier. Now, Rosalina Aurora. This one is very cool. I like seeing, Rosalina in a different dress. The gloves are very cool. Obviously, this is like, very, what is it called? Like Aurora Borealis. That look, whatever that. That phenomenon of like, what is it, like when sun radiation like disrupts the Earth's like a electromagnetic field. That's what, it looks very cool. It's fun. It fits her. I like the like gem diamonds in her hair. This one's pretty solid. I'm gonna give it an A tier. Okay, this is, classic Rosalina racer outfit. If I saw this in Mario Kart 8, I wouldn't bat an eye. I'm just gonna go ahead and say B tier and move on. Alrighty, baby Mario. I think my favorite part of this is just the antenna sticking out of his head, but other than that, I don't love this. It kind of feels like, when like parents will project their interests onto their children, and so like maybe the parent is like a big NASCAR fan and he dressed up his baby as a NASCAR driver so that for like Halloween or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna say C tier. I don't really care for it. Baby Mario swimwear. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, I hate this one. I think this is one of my least favorite ones. I think it just does not look like Baby Mario at all. Nothing about this says Baby Mario to me other than the red goggles. There's no identifying thing that this is Mario. This just looks like someone's baby. Every time that I've seen a baby be introduced to water, like at a beach or like whatever, they cry, and so I don't know. I'm gonna put this one in D tier. I don't like this one. Alright, this one, it's a redemption. It's very adorable. baby Mario as a work crew, very cute. I like the oil splatters. I don't entirely understand why there's like a flower around the M. It kind of makes me think of Daisy, and I think that's a weird detail to have, but it's still solid. I'm gonna say B tier. Now, I'm gonna have a hard time judging Baby Luigi fairly because his little dance is just adorable to me. But I will say this outfit is just as, awful as the Baby Mario one. It's just like the antenna's cute and whatever, but it just looks weird. I'm gonna say C tier. I don't really like it. Now, work crew Baby Luigi. Maybe I'm just being sold on his little dance. But this is just so cute. I love that he has like a wrench in his belt. This is just, did Mario have that or no? Oh, he had a hammer. Okay, this is just so cute. I love it. Maybe I'm biased more in favor of Baby Luigi. I'll be honest, I don't like the baby characters in general, but this is just undeniably adorable. I'm just gonna say A tier. Alrighty, Baby Peach touring. This is cute. Again, I just don't really like the baby characters, but it's very cute. I like the colors. I'm just gonna say this is B tier. Baby Peach Pro Racer. I actually really like the helmet. It is fun. I think it's very cute. What else is there to say? I think I'm gonna say A tier. I actually really like this one. Now this is adorable. You put anyone in a sailor outfit. Who was the other? I think Koopa also had a sailor outfit, and it just works. It's an easy layup. I like that it's pink. I like, it fits Peach's aesthetic. Another A tier, I would say. Baby Peach Explorer. Now, nothing crazy going on here. I'm not like, there's nothing I dislike about it, but I think if I were to play as Baby Peach, which I really don't, I wouldn't opt for this one, but it is solid, good skin, or good outfit, so I'm gonna say B tier. Oh, I hate this. Alright, we have Baby Daisy touring. This is very cute. I like the way that, the little buns in her hair. I like the jacket. I like the colors. I want to say B tier. Guys, I'm having a really hard time not letting my bias of not liking the baby characters not affect my rankings. I just don't really care for them. Like, if I could have chosen between having like Wendy and Lemmy and all of those in the game as opposed to the baby characters, I would have easily picked those, but what can you do? Pro Racer Daisy. Again, nothing hate, nothing offensive. I don't really like the yellow of the shorts. I think it looks weird and I don't understand why they're ripped like that. I'm just gonna say C tier. I don't really like this one. I said the sailor outfit was a layup for them, and for whatever reason I don't really like this one. It looks more like a chef's hat than anything, which I don't know why Peaches didn't give me that same impression, but yeah, I'm gonna say C tier for this one. Alright, last one. Oh no, there's more babies, dang it. Well, last one for Baby Daisy. Again, nothing to hate. I don't love the backpack if I'm being honest, but it's fine. C tier. Alrighty, we have Rosalina touring in, I guess, an oversized jacket. This one is kind of cute, I guess. It looks more like skiing than anything, but maybe that's the point. Like a snow. I keep saying that about a lot of these outfits, but it just looks like something you would wear at a snowy place. I don't know. B tier. Baby Rosalina Pro Racer. I think I'm just gonna speed run these. I'm gonna say B tier. I actually think this one is very cute. I like that they switched it from being the base white and the detailings of the color. I like that this one is a switch from that. I'm gonna say A tier. I actually really like this one. And then Rosalina Explorer. This one's cute. Nothing to hate about it. B tier. Oh, that was it. Okay, and as you can tell, I don't have all the characters unlocked, but I mean, these aren't really outfits. They're just characters. But anyway, I'll end on him. That was my tier list for the Mario Kart World outfits. I said I wasn't going to do a tier list for this game anytime soon, and while I was talking about the tracks, but once I got all the outfits unlocked, I was like, actually, would enjoy making a video out of this. And so hopefully, you liked what I had to say, and if not, you you just threw this on and had it on in the background, which is, you know, I'll take that as well. Well, yeah, that's gonna be that for this one. I don't know, probably more, not Tears of the Kingdom, Wind Waker coming soon, and I don't know what else. Yeah, thank you for watching. If you made it to this point, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. All right. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Bye.